Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial on the Bollard Specification Generator. I'm Gaal, Technical Director at Trelleborg Marine Systems. In this video I will walk you through the process of using our Bollard Specification Generator, our new online tool. This tool will help you to select the right bollard and generate a high-level specification. So let's get started. Once you have clicked the link that we have provided you, you come to this page. On this page you can, as you see, create a new project, or you can start up one of your earlier saved projects. For this tutorial, we create a new project. First thing to do is to enter the project details. We need to decide on the unit of measurement. I'll choose metric in this case. We need to enter a project name. I call it tutorial 2. And the country, and since I'm from the Netherlands, I'll select the Netherlands. Project details are relevant in case you want to look up the project in my saved projects, or when the email is sent to you with the project specification, it helps you to find the email in your projects folder. Once you've done that, you click continue, and that brings us to the bollard selection page. Here we need to enter the details of the bollard that you are looking for. First, we need to select the type of bollard. If you don't know what type of bollard to select, you can click on the information box, and it gives you generic information on the various type of bollards that we have in our program. In this case, I'll select a T-bollard. The next important thing is, of course, to decide the safe workload capacity. If you don't know the safe workload capacity, what that is, you can find it in the information box. The information box will also give you some guidance on what kind of size bollard could be needed. However, we strongly recommend to contact a specialist designer who is specialized in mooring assessments to help you selecting the right size of bollard. In this case, we assume that we need a bollard with a safe workload of 150 tons. Then we can consider the material standards. For this case, we use American standards. The alternative option is European standards. Of course, we can also consider other international standards, but in those cases, please contact Trelleborg for checking the exact requirements and compliance to your specific needs. With that American standard, we also have locked the cast steel grade, because our bollards is a standard design and our designs are based on this material. If we would change the material, we either need a thicker bollard or thinner, etc. If you wish other material grades, please do not hesitate to contact our office and look into the options. We also need to select the design codes. In this case, we will consider American standard, because this sort of logic in relation to the material standards, also being ASTM. And last but not least, we need to understand the coating. We will select painting for this tutorial. And the next step is to select the various type of paintings available. In this case, we select C5 high. Again, if you don't know what kind of paint system to select, information box will give you that guidance. Last but not least, we need to understand the color, and we choose a black bollard in this case. Then the tool will give you a lot of information about the bollard, generic geometry of the bollard, as well as detailed dimensional information. Last but not least, all the material properties are being given too. Once we're happy with our selection, we can continue to the next page. The next page will require information about the support structure. Firstly, we need to select the type of support structure. In this case, we consider new concrete. Then we need to decide on the concrete capacity. You don't need to identify the exact capacity. All we need to know is whether it's greater or less than 40 MPa. And that's important because our standard anchor arrangement is based on a concrete capacity of at least 40 megapascal. If you have lesser concrete grade, then surely we can make a bespoke anchor arrangement to meet your requirements. But please contact Trelleborg office in that case. Type of mounting, in this case, we will choose surface mounted. And again, all these boxes provide you various information about the choices to make. You'll also see a visual about the choice of surface mounted. And when we're happy with that, we can again click continue. This brings us to the hardware selection. First thing to identify is the type of anchor. We have a couple of options, but in this case, we choose cast-in anchors, which makes sense for new concrete. The tool again will give you guidance on what anchors to choose in what situations. The next information is being pre-selected. That's because the anchor site is an integrated part of our bollard design. Taking a larger anchor is simply not possible. It won't fit the bollard. And taking a smaller anchor, of course, will result in structural risk. So this is all fitted within the type and size of bollard. However, if for some reason you have specific needs, again, please contact Trelleborg for looking into that. Now we've selected everything and we can look into the testing requirements. We've considered 3 types of testing and I'll walk you through that. Firstly, there's the user-specific testing. I will come back on that in more detail later. But we also have fixed selected testing for the bollard and fixed selected testing for the whole down bolts. This is testing that is fixed by us. The reason being that we believe that this is essential and minimum level of testing that will be captured in the ITP that will also be generated with the tool. So, for example, we look at material testing is typically chemical composition, mechanical testing, impact testing. There's non-destructive testing with magnetic particle testing, ultrasonic testing. We can take a look at the paint inspection, for example, that suggests the conditions to be monitored, of course, the thickness of the paint layers, adhesion of the pull-off testing, and again, there's all these information boxes will help you. For example, adhesion pull-off testing will explain that this is a destructive testing, so normally the testing is done on a test plate rather than on the bollard itself. But all that kind of information is given within the tool, as well as for the anchors. We go back to user-specific testing. Manufacturing standards we selected earlier, so that is taken over from the entry for the bollard selection and the hardware selection. Next step we need to do is identify the inspection authority for the bollard. Now we could select that the supplier is doing that, so the full quality control is their responsibility, or we can consider a third-party inspector. We select the latest third-party inspector, and we can do the same for the whole down bolts. Also there, we would like to have a third-party inspector and not just leave it to the supplier. Last but not least is optional bollard load testing. We have the opportunity to test the bollard at our facilities, either for safe workload or for proof load. So that means that the bollard is being tested at a load test at 150% of safe workload. We select that. And as said earlier, all the information is there on testing of bollards and why it is important. Now we have selected everything we need and we go to save and send emails. We can also do save and preview, but in this case we select save and send an email. So you see, email is sent successfully and can be used and will provide you all the specifications that you need. Once you've sent the email with the specifications, you come to this field showing my saved projects. Here you can see tutorial 2, the specification that we just generated, and you can see some older projects being generated. You can see here status being completed and also a draft and completed. Now there are a few options. Either I can finish this older draft and you just click on test 2 and you can open up the document and continue where you left off. You could also decide not to reuse it and then delete it. Projects that are being finished are kept in the tool for about 90 days. And then you've got 2 options. If we're getting closer to the 90 days, you can extend the time. You say, okay, I like to keep it here a little bit longer. Or you can actually clone the project. If you have a project coming up for example, a slightly different bollard, 100 ton, you can just clone it, change the 150 to 100 ton, regenerate the document, and quickly update the specs. When you complete the Bollard Specification Generator tool, an email is sent to you with a couple of documents. I will walk you through them. First document is a document called BSG, which is the detailed Bollard specification. All you need to do is just copy and paste the text into your overall project specifications. Another document is called support structure. This is information helpful for the designer to understand more about the design of the support structure. Of course, we have selected a bollard, but there are certain conditions needed for the bollard about type of anchoring, etc. This document will help the designer to understand those requirements. And last but not least, a specification ITP is being generated that you could use as appendix to your specification. I'll just open up this ITP, which is of course based on the ASTM grades that we selected earlier. You can also see all the headers that were shown in the tool, all the key ITP inspection points. So raw material, order preparation, cast and stamp transfer, visual dimensional, etc. And we are using, as you can see, a blend of ISO and ASTM standards to do all the testing that is required. This brings us to the end of the tutorial. I would like to thank you for watching this tutorial. If you have any questions or you need any further assistance, please do not hesitate to contact your Trelleborg local support team.